that's our tools. Now it's on to the really exciting part of the evening, and this is where I have the great pleasure of introducing to you Cham Tang. Now, Cham is a Facebook specialist. He's not only that. I'm sort of making it out that that's all he does, but he's a seminar presenter. He runs ads and marketing, and I saw him probably about, geez, it was probably 3, 4, 5 years ago now, and what he presented back then was absolutely brilliant. He's got a whole library of videos that he keeps up to date. I don't know how he does it, but he keeps them up to date on what's happening in Facebook, so that you can walk through them step by step. So if you get lost or you're not quite sure how to do something, he's probably got the best resource out there that I know of for working with Facebook. So, but anyway, tonight he's talking about some of the things that he's learnt, spending $1 million on Facebook, and I imagine that he's probably made more than the million that he spent, and well, I hope he has. So let's put our hands together and welcome along tonight, Cham Tang.
Thank you. Thanks for that great introduction, Nick, and also thanks for the invite. Yes, it was a very long time. I remember Doug said he saw me speak at one of our very first events about 10 years ago. So not only have I invested in Facebook, but it's actually my own company's money. So I co-founded Authentic Education in 2009. Since that time, just so you know who is doing the presenting tonight, we're a BRW Fast 100 company. So in 2015, we're the 38th fastest growing company in Australia. And 2013, we were the Fast Starters Award. We're in the top 100 there. So just so you know as well, I'm also a Facebook certified professional planner. A lot of people don't know what that means, but a long time ago, Facebook was sick of people trying out Facebook ads, spending $100, going away thinking, oh, Facebook ads doesn't work. And it's not that Facebook ads didn't work. It was because the person they were learning from didn't know how to work the Facebook ads. So they decided to create this certification called the Facebook Certified Professional Planner. You have to do a whole big exam and everything. I'm one of those people. There's also a funny thing that happens when you start spending a lot of money with Facebook. They reach out to you and invite you to their head office to actually help you get better at Facebook ads so that you spend even more money. So I'm in the unique position that not only do I have access to hundreds of our students' Facebook accounts so I can see what's working, I also get to go into the head office at Barangaroo in Sydney once every 6 months or so to go through Facebook ads and what's the latest and greatest. So please get ready to take a lot of notes. We've got about an hour, just under an hour. I go really, really fast. It's going to be action-packed from here on in. So let the games commence. I'll be taking Q&A as we go as well. So this is the top 10 Facebook ad tips that I have for you. Number one, I'm going to share my screen. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're used to seeing what we call the Facebook ads library. So if you go to facebook.com/ads/library, I assume everyone can see my screen there as well.
Yeah, looking good.
All looking good. So you can see search all. What this really does, if you have a competitor that you know, you can kind of type them in. Let's say Sam Ovens, he has a Facebook page. And what I can do now is I can click all ads and I can go filter by Australia or every country in the world. And now I can see the ads that he's running. So to get inspiration, to check up on your competition, to make sure you've got a unique selling point. But how would you know if you have a unique selling point unless you've seen what other people are selling? You haven't seen their offers and their angles. You want to be able to see that. So I can see he started running these ads on August 20. Pro tip, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, I'll see some of the older ads. This is a good example. He started running this ad on 16th of May, 2019. Not 2020, 2019. The older the ad, the more likely it is to work. So I can see his ad. I can click here and go see ad details. I can even click to see what happens when people click the Learn More button. This is the page that he's been advertising to. He started the ad back in 2019, and now I can do what's called quote unquote funnel hack that. I can reverse engineer that. So you can see a lot of information here. You can't see everything, but you can see a lot. If I go back to the start of the Facebook ads library, where this all started, if you remember the whole Trump Russian election meddling scandal, that whole thing, Facebook came under a lot of flack for that, for not doing enough. So they decided to launch this ad library. So I can also type in Donald Trump, and I can see how much the Donald Trump campaign is spending right now. So I could see a whole lot of information if I go all ads and all countries. Donald Trump. Oh, it seems like he's not this can't be right. He's definitely placing ads. Team Trump, 1.1 million likes. You can see there's a whole bunch of ads and things. If I click all countries, a whole bunch of ads. Take the official approval poll, blah, 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 and it shows you a lot of information here. So this is the reason why this exists. But the reason we're using it as business owners, and I don't know how long this window will be open for, but what you should do is look at what your competitors are doing to get ideas across any niche. You just have to know their Facebook page, and if they're currently running ads, you'll be able to see them. I'll give you another pro tip. Let's say you wanted to screenshot some of these ads. What I would do, they're running them on 24th of August. But if they're still running in another 1 month's time, it probably means they're working for them. So I've got this little thing you can see in my browser here. It's called Full Page Screen Capture. It's a Chrome extension. I click this little button, and now this little Pac-Man symbol is saying it's scrolling down the entire page of ads, and now I can click a button and I can save this as a PDF or I can save it as an image. So it's this massive whole thing. I'm saving this whole page. So that's called the screen page, what's it called? Full Page Screen Capture. It's a Chrome extension that you put on your browser. So my first point here is you want to make sure you're looking at your competitors' ads. The next thing is, if I go and click into my Facebook page manager, you want to make sure you've got correct audiences set up. So most of the people, they go into Facebook Ads Manager. There's this little menu option that says audiences. What I want to do though, on my actual screen that I'm sharing, I just want to see if I'm able to do some annotations. Where is the little annotation thing? Now I might have to do that later. You can all see my cursor. But here we've got this thing called a custom audience. Now, I'm not going to go into all the nitty-gritty detail because there's a lot of technicalities around this. But what a custom audience is, it tells Facebook specifically the people you would like to target. Such as you could say to Facebook, show me all of the people who visited my website but didn't buy. Show me all of the people who watched a video ad that I put out on Facebook but didn't actually pull in their details for a free ebook. Show me all of the hundreds of email addresses that I've got, that I've collected over the years, and you can upload those email addresses or mobile phone numbers to Facebook, and you can serve ads just to those people. You might be wondering, why would I want to create a custom audience for people I've already got in contact with? The reason is because sometimes people need multiple touch points, because some people have unsubscribed from you. Once again, pro tip, you might have a database list of 1,000 people. If you've been in business for a long time, you could have a database list of another 1,000 people who've unsubscribed. But those are people who still have an existing relationship with you, but in the heat of the moment one night, they decided to unsubscribe. What you should go and do is upload all of those people into a custom audience, and you can still find them on Facebook. That's a lot better use of your money than going out to a whole brand new audience. But here's where it gets really interesting. Once you create that custom audience, you now have a springboard to create what we call a lookalike audience. A lookalike audience is saying, hey, Facebook, here is a list of people who did something, like a list of people who downloaded this free copy of Shadow Values as an example. I want to find 180,000 people who live in Australia that are similar to those people. So this is what we call, once again, it gets a little bit technical. This is a 1% lookalike audience. So out of the 18 million people in Australia who are on Facebook, show me the 1% of people that look like people who already took an action, such as who've already purchased from me or who have already visited my website. Lookalike audiences are half the battle. So you may have heard the phrase before, you don't need the best product or service, you just need a hungry crowd. Well, hopefully everyone on this Zoom does have a great product or service, but even better, if you've got a hungry crowd, that's half the battle. If you're showing your awesome Facebook ad to the wrong person, it's not going to succeed. Once again, I'll just mention that. If you're showing your awesome Facebook ad to the wrong audience targeted, it's not going to succeed. In all of the ad tests that we do, we test lots of different things: images, videos, text, call to action buttons. We also test different audiences. Out of all the 26 different audiences you could test, lookalike audiences are generally in the top 3 audiences that outperform, because it's basically like cheating. You're saying to Facebook, here's what success looks like. People who have already bought, or people who have already registered for my webinar, or people who are VIPs, or people who have met me through networking and I had great conversations with. Just go out there and find me more people like this. And Facebook's algorithm, its secret sauce, its machine learning, its AI, its big data, whatever you want to call it, it works its way through 52,000 data points per person. So this is not simple things like you're interested in cats, you're a female who's 36 years old living in Gold. This is 52,000 data points. It's tracked and scrolled through every interaction you've ever had on Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and created a profile, not the person you are, but more importantly, what they predict you will do if we serve this ad. So it's got so much information. It can predict what you would do, Doug, what you would do, Jamie, Glenn, Lewis, Stephen, if you were to see this ad based on your previous Facebook history. So that's the power of what it can do with lookalike audiences. The third point, you don't need a website. So very often people might ask me, Cham, do I need a website? Do I need a lot of time and money? You need a minimum of $5 a day to start. The more time you have, that's better than having more money. Why? Because, not to get technical, but Facebook works on an auction system. So just like an auction, if I was buying my ideal dream home, the more time I have to buy that house, the better price I've got. If I've got 6 months to buy it, I'll get a cheaper rate at an auction. But if I have to buy it this weekend, I'm not going to get a very good price because I just had to buy it this weekend. Likewise, if you've got a $5 a day budget, that's $35 a week. It'd be better if you spread that out over 1 week as opposed to did $35 in 1 day. That's just how the algorithm works. So you don't need a website. You can do this thing, it's called lead ads, lead ads. I'll just share that with you now. Some people if you've never seen a Facebook ad created from scratch, just kind of drop that in the chat box. If you've never seen a Facebook ad created from scratch, while I'm on here, I might as well create one and along the way, teach you a few things as well. So I'm in the Facebook Ads Manager. You can just Google create a Facebook ads account. It's fairly straightforward to do. I'm going to start again from scratch. This is where you'd start off. There's 3 building blocks when it comes to Facebook. You've got the campaign. Within a campaign, you can have one or many ad sets. So a campaign contains many ad sets, and an ad set, like the name suggests, is a set of ads. So one ad set can contain many ads. At each level, there's only 3 levels, 3 building blocks. At each level, there's different settings. So at the ad set level, this is where you pick your audience as an example, the age, the demographic, their interests. At the ad level, this is where you pick your format, which is an image or a video ad or something like that. So I'm going to fly through these. I do cover them in a lot more detail in a program called Digital Marketing Made Easy. For 90% of the people, though, you would choose conversions. If you don't have a website for some reason, you can get results using this. It's called lead generation. What a lead generation ad is, it allows you to place an ad on Facebook without them clicking to your website. So imagine this is what would happen. If you're about to place an ad, I'm on Facebook, I see your ad, then I click learn more or buy now, whatever it happens to be. Let's say it's learn more. 90% of people should be placing ads where the call to action is learn more. Just take my word for it. So you click learn more, and then a form would pop up. It would ask for your first name, email, mobile, state, whatever details you would like. Keeping in mind, Facebook already has a lot of your information, so it can pre-populate that information. So imagine your ideal customer sees your ad, they click, they're still on Facebook now in a split second. They haven't waited for a website page to load. It already enters in their first name, email, and mobile because Facebook already knows that, and they just have to click submit. As soon as they click submit, then you're able to get their details, and then you can follow them up however you like. So that is lead ads. Once again, you don't need a website. The fourth thing I want to let you know is you should be using what we call square videos. Square videos. If I Google something like this, square versus rectangle ads, I'm going to just click on this image here. This is a good example. Now, on the left-hand side here is a rectangle ad. If you imagine someone is viewing this ad on their mobile phone, over 50% of ads are seen on a mobile phone. That's a rectangle ad. This is what we call one impression. Every time someone sees your ad, that counts as one impression. Doesn't matter if they've seen it 50 times or the first time, it's one impression. That's how you pay for your Facebook ads, every time that ad is impressed upon someone's news feed. This ad is also one impression, but this is a square ad. See, square ads take up 78% more real estate than rectangle ads. Either way, you're paying for these. In case you're wondering, on average, it's about $50 per 1,000 impressions. That's how much Facebook ads cost, roughly. $50 per 1,000 impressions, also known as the CPM. Technical term you don't have to worry about. But it doesn't matter which one it is. If this is a video, some people do rectangle videos, they should really be doing square. If I had to pick one format only, just choose square over rectangle. Doesn't matter if it's an image or video, because you can see this is a lot better use of someone's real estate. See, in this one here on the right-hand side, that takes up almost the entire mobile phone. But here on the left-hand side, that takes up 2/3, and they'll probably see another post right under your ad that you paid good money for, but now they're distracted by this other person's post. So square, 78% more real estate. While I'm on the topic with this, most ads should be having people's faces. It's been proven time and time again that the thing that converts the highest is people's faces. Yes, there are some certain areas where maybe you don't need people's faces. Like if you've got a catering business and you're doing lovely food, potentially not. But as a default, your ad should be having people's faces in them. Number 6, what you really want to be doing is building relationships with people. Don't go for the sale straight away. Try and build a relationship. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to walk you through this as we're going along. So we're in conversions now. I'm going to leave all of that. I'm going to do budget at $2 just in case I forget that this is a test ad. Now we're in the ad set. So Facebook is walking us through this whole process. There have been some things that I've already set up before this demo. You have to have done some technical stuff, which is setting up this Facebook pixel. A Facebook pixel, once again, I don't want to get bogged down with the detail, but it's a small amount of tracking code that goes on to every page on your website. You don't copy and paste that manually. It's a little bit of a technical thing you have to do, but it places it on every page of your website automatically. That allows Facebook to track if people are going to your website, what pages they're visiting, how long they spend there, that kind of thing. So here is where you start to select your audience. If you had a custom audience, you can select those people there. If you had lookalike audiences, I've got a whole bunch of them. Don't get overwhelmed, by the way. I've been running ads for like almost 10 years. So I've got a lot of audiences that I've accumulated over the years. But most people would start from scratch. They would type in something like Gold Coast, Queensland. They would put the kilometer radius, potentially quite tight, 17 kilometers. You could zoom in and see how far north that goes. You know, it looks like that goes just past the airport down to Hope Island. So you can put the age range. You can see right now the potential reach here is 520,000 people. I'm going to make that slightly bigger so you can see it on your screen. So this ad is going out to 520,000 people potentially. But if I go now and I edit, and let's say I want to do an ad for people who are between the age of 29 and 57, you can see now that's shrunk to 280,000 people. So if I now say I want that person to have particular interests, I can click this little edit button, detailed targeting on. Now I can say they need to be interested in something. So let's say I remember someone was doing self-managed super funds. So I could say they're interested in SMSF or superannuation in Australia. So now you could see this hasn't come down yet because this little box is ticked. The technical thing, but this detailed targeting expansion, we always want to make sure it's off. So it's 1,900 people are interested in superannuation in Australia, 29 to 57 in this Gold Coast region. Now I can click this little button that says suggestions. I can keep adding things, retirement community, retirement age, retirement, all of these different things. And this number would start to increase. See how that's 20,000? You might be asking, Cham, what's the goal here? What are we trying to get at? What we're trying to get at is for every dollar you're able to spend per day on Facebook ads, you want this number to be in between 1 to 10,000 times that. I'll repeat that. For every dollar you've got to spend on Facebook ads every day, you want this potential reach to sit between 1 to 10,000. So if this was 20,000, I would say your budget is either going to be $20 or $2, somewhere in that range. In between $2 and $20, that's good. If your budget is much lower, like your budget is only $1, well, then I would want to see this at between 1 to 10,000 people. That's at a very rough guesstimate. That's what we would call the sweet spot, So that's the placements. That's the demographics. You can add other interests there. There's lots of different things you could do that you probably didn't even know. Like you could put here parents, let me just backspace there. Parents and their age ranges. Parents with adult children, aged 18 to 26, 13. So there's just so much information people have got, whether or not people are married, engaged, if they're living abroad. If my advice is to hit this little browse button, when you're placing your Facebook ad, you should be spending at least 30 minutes here, just going, looking through all the different interests people could possibly have. We keep scrolling. There's this term called placements. I'm going to leave that as automatic, but placement is where your ad is placed. If I click this, you'll be able to see it can be placed on Facebook, Instagram. In case you didn't know, Facebook owns Instagram. We're placing an Instagram ad right now as well. So the same way you place an Instagram ad is you're going to business.facebook.com. It's just an additional placement. You can place it on Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and there's loads of other things like apps. If you've ever played a game on your mobile phone, you'll see that they serve you ads there as well. So typically though, I just leave that as automatic placements. I want to run my ad set continuously. There are many traps, so many traps that I see some of our students fall into, typically because they've taught Facebook ads on their own, or because they've listened to some other person that wasn't doing it right. You never want to hit this button, set a start and end date. I think only on 1% of the occasions would I hit this button. Why? Because you want to make sure you're doing what we call evergreen ads. Evergreen ads. Please write that down. It's EVERGREEN. Evergreen ads. These are ads that you can run continuously forever. So I understand that Facebook ads requires a bit of technology, or it requires a little bit of getting your head around stuff. But what we're building here is a pipeline of clients. We're building a set and forget system that you can switch on and off when you want to attract more clients. And this is a funny thing I sometimes say to our students, that they believe that I'm really good at technology. And I just want to let you know, I'm not good at computers and technology just because I was born Chinese. And the same goes for mathematics and Kung Fu. Like, I had to learn that stuff from scratch. So anyone can learn computers. So this Facebook ad stuff and this computer stuff and this tech stuff that you need in your business as an entrepreneur, it's just all clicking. It's just doing stuff on a mouse and clicking around on a computer. So I hope you can appreciate when the computer sees me coming, it doesn't say to itself, I better start working. There's an Asian person approaching. It's just all I'm doing is clicking and typing. So if you can see what I click and type and you click and type the same things, you know what? You get the exact same results. The exact same results. There's no different. So number 6 was all about building relationships. I got a bit sidetracked there, but what you want to make sure that you're doing is you want to build the relationship before you go for the sale. You want to build the relationship before you go for the sale. So if I was to finish off that ad, let's say for that gentleman who was doing the self-managed super fund, I wouldn't put out an ad that says, hey, would you like to build a self-managed super fund? Talk to me now. Here is my services. I've got 20% off discount. What you want to do is think for your ideal client, what is the most help you could be for them? What is the biggest thing you could give them? And the biggest thing you could give them typically is a solution to their problems. What I love to give for free is, generally speaking, education. I love to educate people. Doesn't matter if you're selling a product or service or anything. I like to give education, a demonstration, a presentation, those things. The reason I love those things is because when you educate someone, you increase your professional credibility. When you educate someone, you can do that worldwide instantly for free. So I'm going to finish placing this ad and give you an example of what I mean. So we are using a single image ad. A lot of people don't know, in case you don't have any images, you can select from past images, or you can also, let's have a look here. You can click here and you can use stock photos. So Facebook has partnered up with a stock photography company called Shutterstock, and you can search particular things. So I would be searching for people with faces, but let's say I put here retirement, and a whole bunch of photos come up. I like ones with people's faces, so I'm going to click this one as an example. My internet's a bit slow, but I'm going to click this particular ad, and then I'm going to click continue. And once I select that ad, it's going to show me a preview of what that ad would look like. It will have a watermark on it, but just know once the actual ad gets served, there will be no watermark. I'm going to try and refresh this. That's what the ad might look like. And I would start to adjust that so it's a square. But I would type the ad in. I would say, are you heading into retirement, then I would be giving something for free. So free retirement checklist, or it could be free retirement calculator. Find out if your money will run out before you do. It's a bit harsh, but you understand what I mean. So we're giving something of value as opposed to asking for the business straight away. So I select a website URL, I do the whole thing there. Yes, the ad would be longer than this typically, but this is as an example. Learn more. I said before, there are lots of call to action buttons. Learn more is one of the easiest things to say yes to. We don't want to say sign up or book now or anything like that because people may not click it. It's a lot easier to click yes to learn more. Required field is missing. No, it's not. It's fixed itself. And then I hit confirm. And then what happens now is the ad is getting reviewed, it's getting checked, and it's now getting published to the cloud. Within about a couple of hours or so, the ad will go from in review to actually active. And then you'll be able to switch the ads on and off as you please. You can see currently right now, I'm not placing any ads. I've got all my ads switched off. But if I wanted to switch an ad on, it's as easy as sliding over this little thing here and going from from on to off. I just want to make sure I turn that ad off because I'm not doing superannuation. Or I can get one of these past ads. I'll just give you a quick tour of my Facebook ads account. By the way, who's never seen anyone place Facebook ads live? If you've never seen anyone place Facebook ads live, just drop a chat in the chat box. The reason I find that is because people who teach, people who are on stage doing the teaching, they're not actually in the Facebook ads platform day in and day out. So they're very wary of doing live demonstrations or teaching things just in case Facebook has changed something or there's a technical glitch and then they get thrown off because it didn't go as the demonstration was planned. But I do this because I'm in Facebook ads all the time. And I'm very confident that even if something doesn't look the way I thought it was going to look, I'll be able to figure it out in front of a bunch of people. So this is my Facebook ads account. I've got many accounts. I've got access to lots of our students' accounts. I go in there sometimes if I need to troubleshoot things. When I created my first Facebook ads account back in around 2010, I made a mistake. And I didn't realize I had made a big mistake until around about 2015. And in 2017, I bit the bullet and I just decided to create a new ads account. The mistake I made is I had the wrong time zone. So when I looked at my results, they were all in the default time zone of North America. So my word of advice, just make sure you get the right time zone because you can't change it. If I go to lifetime now, just to prove to you know what I'm talking about, the amount spent on all of these campaigns, if you add them all up, is $800,000. That's of our own money. So $800,000 of our own money. The ROI or return on investment of that is usually about 5 to 1. So I've made over $5 million in Facebook ads in revenue for our company based on this spend. It truly is a set and forget system. So if I look at the amount spent, I'm going to order that descending. So on this particular campaign, let's say I'm going to go for a marketing one because it's a business one, people understand. Marketing your message, $111,000. In our business, by the way, 90% of my time is not spent speaking. It's spent marketing and managing our staff. We've got a team of around 16 people, about 10 in Australia. So if I have a look at this right now, I'm in the ad sets. So before I was in campaign, now I'm in ad sets. If once again, I look at the amount I've spent in the most popular ad sets, it's this $6,000 one. Here are all the ads in that particular ad set. So if I show you this particular ad and I click edit, I just want to break it down for you. So sometimes people don't understand what you need to do because point number 7 of the Facebook ads tips is you need to test. You need to be testing things. The way you have one good idea is by having many ideas. The way you take one good photo is by taking many photos. And likewise, the way you have one good ad is by doing many ads. The way you get one great audience is by testing on many audiences. The likelihood that you will place one ad with one audience and that would be optimized, as in that would be the best ad you could possibly do, it's just very few and far between. Like sometimes I say to people, half the ads I write don't work. And I'm a great marketer. I consider myself to be a great marketer. That's because I'm always trying new things. If all the ads I write work, I probably haven't written many ads. So we always need to test. Just like a stand-up comedian, they'll test their jokes. And over a period of months and months, they'll build up a set list of 20 minutes of solid gold jokes, but have been tested hundreds of times. So likewise, at a minimum, you want to test 3 ads, 3 audiences for 1 week. That's at a bare minimum. I would advise you try and at least double that, but at a bare minimum, 3 different ads, 3 different audiences for at least 1 week. Different types of ads could be just changing the image or something bigger like image or video, or it could be changing what we call the angle, sometimes also known as the hook, changing the angle of the hook. So as an example, if I use that self-managed super fund, one of the angles I was going for was, let's say a fear-based angle. Will your money run out before you do? I could say a pleasure-based angle. I could say, how would you like to travel the world in your retirement, knowing that your future is secure? That's more of a pleasure-based angle. I could go a testimonial angle. Meet Jenny. She thought she wasn't going to have enough money to retire at 50 years old. But after 5 years of working with me, here's her current bank balance and here's the smile on her face. See how those angles potentially can have different results depending on the audience. But we need to test that. I'll just give you another tip, because sometimes people ask me, Cham, which is better, A or B? Which is better, an image or a video? Which is better, long copy or short copy? An ad that's about that long or an ad that's that long? The question is not which one is better. Generally, you should have as many different formats as you can. I'll give you an example. Some people respond better to video. Some people respond better to image and text because they're just so busy. So if you only do video, then you won't capture the people who are too busy to watch video. If you only do text and image, you won't capture the people who need more relationship building or who just love watching video. So the question isn't which one is better. The question is which ones will still get you a return on investment. If the image is giving you a return on investment, keep running it. If video is getting you a return on investment, keep running that. But just because the image ad might be, for argument's sake, $25 a lead, and the video ad is $33 a lead, don't switch off the video ad. If that's giving you a return on investment still keep it on. The only reason you would switch it off is if you can't handle the volume of clients. A very good problem to have. It does happen to us and other people sometimes. If you can't handle the volume of clients, then you would start to be switching off the ads. So you could see in this particular ad, I am going to preview this particular ad, Facebook post with comments. This is what the ad would look like on someone's Facebook newsfeed when it comes up. So, join Facebook certified professional and co-founder of BIW Fast 100. Yeah. So here's what I'm doing. This angle now is a credibility angle. It's a credibility angle. So the next point I want to make is this. What you want to do is you want to use emojis where possible. Emojis. It's just a very small hack, but emojis can give you up to a 12% uplift in your ads. So up to 12% more clicks just because people saw a bit of an emoji. And an emoji, what it helps to do is to break up the text. This is what we would call long copy. And thanks for hanging in there, everyone. I know I'm spouting a lot of information, but I like to give value, as much value where possible. This is what we call long copy, as in it's a lot of text on a particular ad. Now, if you've just got a whole bunch of text like that, it can be overwhelming for people. So you want to break that up. See how I've broken it up using emojis. I've used emojis as bullet points. If you're unsure where to get emojis from, you can go to emojipedia.org. Emojipedia.org. You can search for other emojis, different categories, and after a while, you get to know the ones that you use the most. And my advice, just have a little Microsoft Word document or something just to keep your top 15 emojis that you use. It's kind of like the 80-20 rule. 80% of the emojis you use 20% of the time, or you know how that thing works. I think I mucked up that quote. So if you have a look at this, this is the long copy here. An interesting thing, very interesting thing, because my next point is evergreen ads. Evergreen ads. If you're looking at this ad, it's for an event I was running. What you can't see on this particular ad is you can't see the date of the event. You can't see the city of the event. This is when pre-COVID, I was allowed to travel the country and also went to Auckland to run this particular event. So you can't see any of that information. The reason you can't see the date, the reason you can't see the city is because if I put the date there, if I put coming to, Gold Coast, Brisbane and Sydney in July 2019, what that means is I can never run that ad again. That means next time I have to rewrite that ad. That means next time, more importantly, I can't have my ad start like this. 11 shares, 450,000 views, 7 comments, and 47 likes. What that means is right now, because I've set my ads up correctly, if I decide to go back to my Facebook campaign and now I have to start my marketing again, let's say I need to start my marketing for the Marketing Your Message campaign. What I can go and do, I can load up my Facebook Ads Manager. I can just find the campaign called Marketing Your Message. Let me just go and find that now because I know it's kind of disappeared. And all I really have to do is switch it from off to on. So let's say that was it here right now. I switch it from off to on, and all of those ad sets and ads, they all start again, but with the number of likes I've got. So I've gotten an ad up to over 1.2 thousand likes. That's important because it's called social proof. Please write that down, social proof. Social proof is another word for trust, and trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. So when your clients see 1.2 thousand likes, 400 comments, 200 shares, that's massive social proof that you want to have. Next, we've got handling clients' objections. This is the 10th one, and they're going to open it up to some questions as well. So you can see right here, one of the things people do is they're only focused on the reason people will take up their offer. What you also got to think of is, what are all the reasons someone wouldn't take up my offer? They don't want to put in their details for my free ebook. They don't want to call me. They don't want to buy my product or service or anything like that. You need to deal with those objections in your copy. So this is the example I've got here. People may not want to come to my marketing event because they think they're not good with technology, they don't have a big budget, or they think they need a website, or they need thousands of social media followers. That's why I handle those objections here using emojis. You don't need to be tech savvy, you don't need a big budget, you don't need this and that. So think about all of those reasons why. By the way, at our company, we don't just teach marketing. What we mainly teach, and I'm not even the main presenter, it's my business partner, Benjamin J. Harvey. What we mainly teach is presenting, coaching, marketing, productivity, everything that a business owner needs to become successful. What we also call these objection handling techniques are FAQs. A bit of a pro tip, frequently asked questions. The next time you're doing a presentation, the next time you're writing a landing page, the next time you're doing anything, you want to have a frequently asked questions section. What a frequently asked questions section allows you to do is to cover potential objections that people might have. I'm going to show you this on an event that we've got coming up. I think we just launched it today. It's called How to Become a Highly Successful Coach. It's also on the homepage of our website, authentic.com.au. But I want to draw your attention to this, frequently asked questions. These are all the reasons why someone may not want to come to this particular live Zoom event. First off, is it really free? Why is this event you're running free? Yes, because we use the freemium marketing method, just like Google, etc. We deliver great value for free, and a small percentage of people decide to learn more about our premium paid courses. So you're handling people's objections up front under the frequently asked questions section. Other ones, the hours are too long. Can I attend part of it? How does it work? Are there breaks? What's the agenda of the event? Will this course be worth my time? So I like to shoot straight from the hip. We call ourselves Authentic Education. Whatever is going through the client's mind, I want to voice that opinion right off the bat. That's why it's very abrupt. But the first one here is it really free? Why? Talk about this, whether or not they're going to be sold to and the whole thing. But I frame it in an elegant way because we're not trying to hide anything here at all. So I'm going to stop the screen share there and just let you know the main thing you want to have to do, if I recap, look at your competitor ads. Tip number 1, lookalike audiences. You don't need a website with lead ads. Square videos and images because they handle 78% more real estate. You want to build a relationship. You don't want to ask people to get married to you straight off the bat. You want to build that relationship by giving education or giving something free to begin with. You want to test at least 3 ads, 3 audiences over a 1-week period. Use emojis where possible. I know that's just a small thing though. Evergreen ads. You want to be able to switch on and off your ads forever, not for a set date and time. If you say end my ad after 2 weeks, you're going to have to restart this whole process starting off with 0 likes. And you want to handle your clients' objections within the ads. I know some people may need help with their Facebook ads. What I'm going to do is just put in the chat. By the way, if you've got questions, just drop it in the chat box below and I'll answer them in a second. If you would like to know more about how you can get direct help with me, and specifically with some of the marketing courses that we offer, I'm just going to do and chat this to everyone if I can, everyone in the meeting. You can email help@authentic.com.au. So if you want to learn more about how we could potentially work together, if it's a match, if you want to learn more about my Digital Marketing Made Easy program, I do a fortnightly Zoom where I answer people's questions. Usually there's about half the number of people in the call. And they also get access to all those videos that Nick was talking about. But I'll open it up to questions right now. If you got any questions at all. So many questions, said Petra. Fabulous presentation, no time wasted, a great revision. Any questions at all, drop in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and I'll take questions. You can raise your hand.
There's a couple there in chat at the moment I've been following through, so I'll read those out to you now.
Yeah, read them out.
Yeah, so one from Orlando, he said, I've got a question regarding targeting. Normally I target on interests, but I'm also trying to use behavior, sales behavior to be exact. People that have clicked on the buy now button. Is that okay to do? Because when I do, the size of the reach goes to tens of millions. I think that, I think when I use it, hang on, I think when I use it, ads all. I think when I use it in ads, I think he wants to know sort of whether people have clicked geographically, disregarding interest. Or I think that's probably what happens.
That seems a bit complicated there.
I know.
I would say potentially your problem is you've got that little checkbox ticked, that expanded thing checked. So your reach on the right-hand side that I showed before, those stats will be haywire. They'll be way off unless you've got that box unchecked. Facebook likes you to check it because it's going to show your ad to more people. But I don't really like that box checked because I feel it just blows everything out. To answer your question, yes, you can target people who have clicked a specific button on your website. So as an example, this is how it would work. People would see your Facebook ad. Then you would say, if you would like to learn more, then click here. Then people would land on your website page. Let's say your website page is called authentic.com.au/marketing. They would land on that page. Then they would either take an action or they wouldn't. The action they would take would send them to the thank you page. They could go to a page that says authentic.com.au/thank you for registering. I could then go inside Facebook ads and I could create what's called a custom audience. In the custom audience, I would say, show me all of the people who went to this URL, authentic.com.au/marketing, but did not go to this URL, authentic.com.au/thank you for registering. So that will now leave me with the people who went to the first page, but not the second page. And then I could show them an ad. The ad would say something like, I saw you went to the page, but you didn't register. Let me reintroduce myself and my credibility. Or let me show you a testimonial. Or let me show you the top 5 frequently asked questions. Or let me remind you that this offer is running out. You would serve them an ad. I know that was a little bit technical. I'll answer this next question from Jamie, by the way. Going to a cold audience, do you suggest a warm-up campaign first? Not really. I think your warm-up campaign should be your cold audience. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. If you've got a powerful offer, if you've got a good offer where you're giving something first, such as a free Zoom event, a free ebook, a free strategy session, a free trial, a demonstration, if you're giving something free, even a free instructional video, then you don't need to warm them up because that is the warm-up, so to speak. So I don't really believe that you should be showing ads that are like awareness ads or anything like that. I've had some of our students get charged an arm and a leg from a digital agency because the digital agency 3 months later said, don't worry, you haven't got any conversions yet. Don't worry, we're in the awareness phase. We're just warming up your audience. I'm like, what? You don't need to warm up your audience for 3 months like that. That probably shows to me that you have an impotent offer. That's what it's not a very exciting offer. Next question, if you can read some out, Nick.
Yep, there's one when targeting geographically, I run the same ad for different regions. Is this okay, or is it better to run them separately by country?
No, you can run the same ad in different locations for sure. So where possible, you want to try and combine your ad sets. Like I wouldn't run one ad just for people in Brisbane, one ad just for people in Melbourne, etc. Unless there was a specific reason for that, like the actual ad had to say something different. If those people are going to be roughly similar, I would run them all the same. There is power in combining things. Facebook gets smarter when you pull things together in one big campaign as opposed to separating them. People may, if you've been placing Facebook ads, I know there could be a wide variety of people's expertise. In the last few months, Facebook has been pushing this thing called campaign budget optimization, CBO for short. It means instead of saying, I want to have a $10 a day budget for men, a $10 a day budget for women, it's saying, put all of the budget just into the top level campaign. Just tell me your total budget is $20 a day, and I will allocate whether or not it goes to the men or the women. On some days, the men will be more expensive. On some days, the women will be more expensive, and I will throttle all of your ads and all of that stuff to get the best result for you. So yeah, where possible, try and pull things together, not separate them. Let Facebook do its thing. Next question.
Next one is where does it show you the return on your investment? So that must be in the ads panel.
Yeah, where it shows you a return on investment, it's not going to show you your exact return on investment because it doesn't know how much money you've made. But if I share with you my screen right now, I'm breaking down my results by performance. I'm doing lifetime, let's say. It shows me in results. So as an example, if I scroll across here, it says for this particular one, I had 20 registrations for $18 a registration, cost per result. And there are many different costs per result you could possibly have. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. So this one is $15.94 per registration for 25. If you can't see some of these columns here, you click this little columns button, you go to customize, and then it shows you every possible thing you could possibly want on all of the stats. So, if I wanted unique link clicks, I could click that and that would appear over here. And I could hover over where I wanted it to keep it, and I could save it as a preset. It just means when I click here, I've got some pre-saved that I've done for myself, like on August the 4th, I've done that. So it will show you your cost per result. So as an example, let's say to use that self-managed super fund, if you were doing a free ebook, it would show you $2 per ebook. If you're doing a strategy session, it would show you $16 per strategy session. And then you'd have to work out your own return on investment. You would have a little calculator that says, I got 10 strategy sessions. I had 7 people pick up their phone. I had 5 booked, and I had 4 strategy sessions actually show up. And from that, I converted 2 new clients. Those 2 new clients have a lifetime value, for argument's sake, of $2,000. So that's $4,000. Therefore, I spent $200 to make $4,000, and now I can figure out my return on investment. That's how you would work out your ROI. Another person said that they didn't have time to place ads. If you're thinking of outsourcing your marketing, please write this down. When you outsource your marketing, you will outsource your income. When you outsource your marketing, you will outsource your income. The reason that is because many agencies, they will charge you an arm and a leg to not get the best results. They will go back and forth with you to help write the copy. You will end up doing half the work, and then they're not going to be incentivized month in and month out to make those ads better. I know it sounds a bit skeptical, but it's just what I've seen. I've had 3 marketing agencies I've tried, so many of our students in a similar boat. The way a marketing agency typically works is their best client, they set up the ads once, then because that person is too scared of technology or too scared of marketing or is too busy to learn it for themselves, they will charge them forever. They will charge you forever $1,000 a month, $3,000 a month, just as a management fee. That's on top of the Facebook ads cost. They will charge you that forever because you were too scared or too busy to learn the Facebook ads for yourself. It's not that hard. It's just a whole bunch of clicking around. Is it going to take a bit of time? Yes. But I think that's a lot better than paying an agency to do not a very good job in what I've seen. In case I've run out of time, I know I've been talking a lot about Facebook ads. There are 7 different actual Facebook. So there are 7 different marketing strategies that I recommend. There's a 1-hour free webinar that I've given all of your listeners access to. If you want to head over to our website there, I put the link in the description. It's authentic.com.au/smash. But it's me, it's a professional recording of me going through the top 7 marketing strategies I recommend, such as Google SEO. If you want to get to the top of Google, like I'll show you something funny here. If you type in most handsome marketer in the world, you can try that now. I come up on the position, not position 1. This is position 1, by the way. I am on position 1. I come up on position 0, the best position. It's where Facebook copies and pastes text and images onto the top spot above position 1. So we know a lot about SEO. If you type in something like accept credit cards, this is a popular term, whereas this most handsome marketer in the world, I was just doing for fun. These are all ads, a highly competitive term. I come up position 0 for accept credit cards. If you open this, this is a blog post that I wrote. And it wasn't a blog post that I wrote, yesterday or anything like that. I wrote this in 2019. So it's been on the position 1 for quite a long time. In case you're wondering, I come above SquareUp, eBay, BigCommerce, I'm above PayPal for accept credit cards. This is a very, very competitive term. If I click this link right now, it's probably about $6. That's what it's going to cost them if I click any of these links, because this is companies wanting to make a percentage of every dollar that you process through credit cards forever. So there are 7 marketing strategies that I look at. Facebook ads is one. Google is free traffic forever, unlike Facebook. I understand Facebook can get your results tomorrow. Google gets your results in months' time, but it's free. So there are many others like free social media, joint ventures. I go through the whole thing in this webinar. If I go back now to the questions, are there any other questions there, Nick?
What have got? I'd like to target mums in the age range 29 to 54 in Australia. Do I have to try and knock my audience down to 10,000, or can it be larger because I'm targeting Australia as a whole?
Yeah, once again, it depends on your budget. If your budget was $1 a day, that's where you knock it down to 10,000. If your budget is $10 a day, it could be 100,000. If your budget is $50 a day, then it could be anywhere between 50,000 and 500,000. That's the recommended. The reason we have that, by the way, imagine you've got a set budget. Everyone has a set budget. You've got a set budget of, for argument's sake, $50. You can target the whole of Australia if you want to go and target 18 million people. But that's kind of a waste of money. You're just saying to Facebook, hey, just go out into a field of 18 million people. How about you narrow it down for me just a little bit? Like, this is for self-managed super fund. Why would I target people who are 18 years old? They're not interested in that. So let's at least go for people who are over the age of 50 as an example. But now I still might have 1.8 million people. 1.8 million people, is that a lot of money to spend if I've got $50 or not? I'm saying to you, 1.8 million is a lot of money for a $50 a day budget. Because if we do that whole maths, you want to divide it by 10,000, and that in between 1 to 10,000, and that's your daily budget. So that's why I recommend trying to keep knocking it down. So now see if they're interested in self-managed super fund. Maybe if it's over the age of 50, go for your best client. If some of your clients are 50, but your best ones are like 60, once they hit that 60 mark, now they're really serious about SMSFs, then make it over 60 instead. So yeah, I wouldn't be trying to target the whole of Australia at all. Next question.
There's another one here. Can you please explain the $5 a day for 7 days of ads versus $35 in 1 day?
Yeah, so clients are on Facebook all different times. Different people are on at different times of the day. So just because there are 18 million people who are registered Facebook users, they're not all on today. And it works on supply and demand. Just because they're on today, there's a lot of advertisers potentially advertising today too. So it fluctuates like a stock chart, let's say. Some days are more expensive, some days are cheaper. So it's just like if you wanted to buy a parcel of Commonwealth Bank shares, if you give it a week to find the cheapest price, that would be better than saying, I need to buy this hour or I need to buy this second. It will try and find the cheapest price, and it can predict which days and times are going to be cheaper for you. So where possible, if you've got more time than money, that will work in your advantage. Just have your ads going for a longer stretch of time. You'd be doing better off. Yeah.
Interesting question here. What about hashtags?
Hashtags is more for social media. And that question, I know, and I'm going to guess where that comes from. How about growing my list by doing a post and then doing hashtag marketing tip or hashtag SMSF or hashtag whatever your product or service is. And then slowly and hopefully what I would call hope marketing, I'll be found and I'll grow my follower base and blah, blah, blah. And I'll be doing these posts and I'll always be thinking in the back of my mind, I should post, I should post, I should. You don't have to do all that stuff. One of the things that's very important as a business owner, from one business owner to another, we need to focus. We need to think, what is the one thing that's going to get me my result? You can't do 10 things all at once. I'm not espousing that you should be doing a Facebook Live, a podcast at the same time as being on Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, doing Instagram TV, doing Reels, doing Facebook stories. Just find one thing that works. And my personality, and if you resonate with my personality, it's going to be things that are set and forget. I like to build something of value and have that last forever or as long as possible. And that is creating a Facebook ad campaign that I can tweak and optimize and switch on and off when I want clients. Number one, I can scale it. I can make that ad go now to the whole of Sydney, to the whole of Australia, to the entire planet. But with my social media posts, mucking around, thinking of hashtags, hopefully getting a reach of 50, then the next day it disappears and now I got to create another one and another hash. You could spend 100 hours mucking around doing that, or you could port that, not even a tenth of that time, 10 hours to producing one Facebook ad that can scale to the moon. I know what I would rather. If you've got limited time, I don't believe you should be doing those hashtags. So to answer your question, it sounds a bit counterintuitive, but don't worry about it. I believe unless you've maximized Facebook ads and maximized other forms of marketing, hashtags should just pick 3 hashtags that are roughly related to your post and chuck them up there and get back to focusing on the main event, which is a Facebook funnel that crushes it, so to speak, to use that lingo. Next question. I'm not sure how many questions we've got time for.
I'll stop us when we have. We're getting there. There's another question here. Facebook algorithm has shut down our weight loss franchisees' accounts. What's your advice about that?
It depends on what the reason they shut it down. So if you Google Facebook advertising policies, there's a whole list of policies. The common ones that people might fall into is making promises that they can't substantiate. So you can't say something like, you will lose 5 kilos, you will cure cancer. You can't say that's going to happen. What you can say is potentially, this is how this person made, millions in 6 months. This is how I did it. Here's what you can learn to do, but you can't make a claim. You can't make a promise like that. There are certain things you can't sell as well. If it's anything to do with MLM, either on the ad or the landing page. So Facebook will not only look at your ad, they will click the ad, go to the website landing page. A landing page is a technical term. It just means the page on your website people land on when they click your ad. I click your ad, I land on a page. That page we call the landing page. They read that as well. If any of that has anything to do with MLM or claims or money or stuff like that, then Facebook can flag it. So I would get used to what those policies are. If it's a very bad violation, just get out of here. Account closed. If you've got a history of trading with them, if it's not a very bad violation, like you made maybe a bigger claim than you should have, or it seemed like an honest mistake, like you can't do before and after photos on many things. You can't say, here I was before taking the vitamins, here I am after. Before and after photos aren't really allowed. Then it won't be an account closed. It will be a warning, and they should give you the reason why that ad was disapproved. I go to the next question with Victoria. So you're saying not to even bother with a Facebook page, just do the marketing. Have a Facebook page as a presence. By the way, you need a Facebook page in order to run the ad. My advice too is that I'm going to go to my Facebook page now. If you wanted to look at mine on social media, you can go to instagram.com/Cham Tang official, or you can also go to facebook.com/Cham Tang official. So if you have a look here, when you run ads, it's a lot better for the ad to run and show up like this with someone's face and a name. That's better than an ad that runs with a logo and a company name. Why? Because we're trying to build a relationship, and people build relationships with faces and names. They don't build relationships with logos and companies. So where possible, you want to run the ad from a person's name and a page. Once again, you don't have to have a whole bunch of posts on your Facebook page. You can, like I do. I'm lucky enough to have a team that helps me to do these posts as well. When I say a team, it's in-house. I don't outsource it. It's a marketer that I've personally trained. So yes, you can have a Facebook page, and you should, but don't put a lot of emphasis on it. It's more like a website. It's more like just having a presence. So if someone goes there, they see you've got stuff. But this is not how I get clients. It's great to get 37 likes on a Facebook post. It's great to get 80 likes on a Facebook post, but I didn't get clients from this. This is just keeping up a presence. So if people go there, it looks like I'm doing stuff. But if I look at all of the income I've generated from free social media posts, like just posting for free on Instagram and stories and Facebook Lives, and I compare that to actual Facebook ads, it's 99% Facebook ads, paid Instagram and Facebook ads, and 1% all that other stuff that I used to work for Tony Robbins. I did sales with him in Australia for 2 years, but he has this saying where people say, I should do this, I should do that, I should do the social media posts, and you end up shooting all over yourself. So then that was funny, and people have that with social media. It's this constant, I should do that, I should do that. Whereas that's not true at all. You don't have to do any. You could create a Facebook page, have 0 followers and 0 posts, and still get results with your Facebook ads. You don't have to have all those followers. We've probably got time for one last question, I assume. If you want to read one out, if you can.
Yeah, there's this one here. This is probably a biggie. It may not be. Facebook versus LinkedIn for business. Which is better?
So it depends who you're trying to target. Without knowing specifically, I would choose Facebook. Here's the reason why. Sometimes the argument is, LinkedIn has CEOs and managers. But a lot of people have a LinkedIn account, but they don't use it. So the thing is, you can't advertise to someone who's not there. What do you think the CEO of a company or a manager of a company is actually doing on LinkedIn all the time? They're not in HR, so they're not recruiting. They're not in and out of that. They've got the linked account, but they're not using it. Whereas everyone has friends and family they want to keep track of on Facebook, on Instagram. So my point here is people might have a LinkedIn account, but you can't advertise to someone who doesn't use it. Plus, on top of that, the Facebook ads platform is like university and LinkedIn is like kindergarten. It's just so immature. The platform just isn't that smart. Like I talk about the Facebook pixel and the lookalike audience and the custom and the expanded targeting and the different placements and the evergreen ads and the post IDs and all of this stuff in my more advanced programs. LinkedIn just has like a fraction of that. If you look at all the bells and whistles just in settings and things you can do, LinkedIn literally has about 15% of what Facebook ads can do. So it's just not as smart. People put their job titles on Facebook as well. Not as much as LinkedIn, but Facebook can still figure out what you're interested in. It's not just as linear. Don't think Facebook is as linear as just whatever you put on your profile, that's all they know about you. That's not how it is. If you're scrolling through your newsfeed and you pause on a video that has a cat more than you pause on a video of someone doing exercise, Facebook knows you're more interested in cats now. You didn't have to put, I am interested in cats on your profile. Based on what your friends link, based on photos you're tagged in, based on the messages that they read on WhatsApp, based on Instagram, based on your friends and the circle of people you keep, they just assume if all of your friends are CEOs, you're a CEO as well. So they've got many different ways of trying to figure out who is a CEO, as opposed to whether or not they update their Facebook status, I am a CEO or something like that. There's a lot of information there. That's pretty much all we got time for. Once again, if you want help in any way, if you want to see if any of our marketing programs are a match, just send me an email, help@authentic.com.au, or you could go to that one, which I think was that webinar, authentic.com.au/smash. That's pretty much it. I like to leave everyone with this quote, and it goes like this. Just remember, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it started. Thank you very much, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Cham. What a fabulous night tonight. So much information. Just looking at the chat feed coming through, mate. So much kudos to you. There's great information, and so thanks for coming along tonight. And I would encourage everybody here to actually go and check out the page and the links that Cham's put in there. I think Cham's only just really scratched the surface of what he knows and what he does, and well worth while going through to check it out a bit more. I know I will. You've just re-inspired me on some things, and there's some things there that I really didn't know. So that's the thing about when you learn things, it's not what you learn that is the good stuff, but it's the stuff that you realise that you don't know that you've got to go and research and find out a bit more about. So thank you very much for that, Cham. All right, so thanks everyone for coming along tonight. Just a couple of quick announcements. Tomorrow we have the business owners office hours. So you're welcome to come along to that. Probably what we've talked about tonight, there'll be some great discussion there. I think someone was asking about that here. Could we have a Zoom with a bit of a discussion about some of these things? Look, feel free to come along tomorrow. It is a no agenda discussion. There is no presentation. There's nothing. So it's more like a coffee chat where we can sit around at a cafe. Just happens to be that our cafe's at home, and we brew our own coffee and bring it to our desk or wherever you happen to be. So that's at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Well, the link is now in the chat. So just click on that. You can register and just come along. And next week, I'm not quite sure what the topic is next week, but we'll post it up in Facebook once we've got it confirmed. I'm pretty sure we've got a speaker. I'm just not quite sure who it is at the moment. But that'll be Tuesday next week at 6 o'clock, same time again. All right, well, that's an awesome night. That's a wrap for tonight. I know some people are itching to open up their Facebook accounts. Some of them are already in it just to have a look at your ads and what's happening. So go and have a bit of fun. And look, if you do get stuck, feel free to reach out to Cham. He's given you his email address, and he's got heaps of resources there that he can point you in the right direction. So once again, thanks everyone for coming, and we will see you again next week. Have a great week.